to Paris this Christmas. But unfortunately, the first question is, my girlfriend of 2.5 years broke up with me because she wants to jackpot for her nursing career. We were to get married in a few months' time, and I am so deeply hurt. Here I may not be able to trust women again. I may not care that much anymore. I fear I may want to hurt women too. I am really broken. Well, okay. It's a question about a 2.5-year-old girlfriend who has broken up and is going to leave the country to go study her nursing, or to continue with her nursing career abroad, and somehow these two people were supposed to get married in a few months' time, and the guy is deeply broken, and he's afraid he may not be able to trust women again. He may not care that much anymore. He fears that he may want to hurt other women too, and he's really broken. Well, it's not a question. It is not a question, but maybe you want me to say something about it. Number one, sometimes the challenge with this question is we really don't know the background. We don't know what's up, because I would have asked, why did you need to break up just because she was leaving the country? You could have planned to where maybe you get married just before she leaves, and then after a couple of months you can join her. Why is that not the case? I'm hoping that the person who asked the question is here and you can maybe throw some more light, because why is that not the case? That's a possibility. If she's going to practice nursing, not a bad thing. We have people who have left like that. I know the one family not too long ago who the lady moved, and she was married with, at the time, maybe 2 or 3 children, I even think. But she moved first, and in a couple of months she was able to move the man and the children, and they are there. The last time I was in the UK, they were there, the entire family, and they're doing very good, very, very, very good. They're doing good. I know they were even talking about buying a house and so on and so forth. They're doing good. So why did you need to break up? So there are many questions as a researcher. There are many questions on my mind. Did she want to break up and use this traveling out as an opportunity to break up? Or she wanted to travel out and you didn't like the idea and decided to break up? Or what exactly is the challenge? Sometimes all you need is dialogue. All you need is wisdom. All you need is to reason with yourselves, and things will work out. So in that regard, I really don't know what to say, because I don't have a background of the situation. But it could have been worked out. You could get married before she leaves, and then after a couple of months you go on and join her, and so, or are there other underlying issues that we do not know? Now, the fact that you fear that you may not be able to trust women again, okay, well, let's take that is normal. There's a tendency to be that, but listen, we are adaptable. We can adapt. Things happen in people's lives, okay? Don't make me believe that this is the only person. Okay, someone is throwing some light there, or maybe another person is sponsoring her travels. Not a problem. Even if someone is sponsoring her travels, if they were going to get married in a few months, I would imagine that there was a level of preparation. They can go on and get married. Somebody sponsors her travels, and she's there a couple of months, and I believe that herself and her husband can work out to where he can go. Now there are no children involved, so she's not going to have to pay flight tickets for her husband. And how much is a flight ticket from maybe Nigeria to the UK? It's affordable. It's affordable, especially after a few months of planning. It should work. Anyway, so I I don't know why they broke up. So you have to be able to move on when things happen to you. When things happen to you, you definitely have to be able to move on. Olivia Sandra, welcome. It's great to have you here. So you have to be able to move on. We cannot use one person as the yardstick for living our entire life. There's going to have to be someone, in life it's just like saying you're doing business and someone has cheated you one time. Oh, I'm never going to trust any business partner again. Oh, okay, come on. Oh, or someone hears that public transportation, maybe taxis and buses, sometimes people's money gets stolen, people's phones get snatched, and then he doesn't have another means of transport and says, I'm never going to get into public transportation. I will trek for the rest of my life until I buy a car. It doesn't make sense, right? So if one woman disappoints you, oh my God, there are 1,000 other women who will appoint you. Did you get that? If one woman disappoints you, there are 1,000 women who will appoint you. So you have to be able to move on. Does it hurt? Yes. Is it painful? Yes. But you must move on with your life. And then you may not care that much anymore. You fear you may want to hurt other women. Now, my question is, do you have the tendency to hurt other women and you've just been looking for a perfect opportunity to do so? Or is it this one incident that is making you metamorphose into a monster? Do you understand it? We all have to be able to protect who we are. If you're not that kind of person, how do you just allow yourself migrate into becoming a monster because one person walked out of your life? That's childish. Yeah, that is childish. Does it hurt? Yes. Yes, I agree that it will, because you have spent your life together, you have built plans together, your emotions have, intermingled for 2.5 years. And I understand that you will feel so, but I learned many years ago, and I learned this from reading Bishop Jakes' book in the year 1996. He said in that book, and by the way, the title of the book is Lose Him and Let Him Go. He said in that book, never make permanent decisions out of temporary circumstances. Never make permanent decisions out of temporary circumstances. So I won't let someone convert me to a monster. I won't let someone make me metamorphose into something else that I'm not. No, I should protect who I am. I should protect my honor. How are you going to go about hurting other people's children just because somebody hurt you? That's wickedness. That is wickedness. And if you have the ability to hurt other women, then there's something about your character that needs to be fixed urgently, right? And if you think you are fine and okay, this should get out of your mind. You see, as we think, so are we. If we don't win certain battles in our mindsets, then we're just going to gravitate in the direction of whatever negativity we conceive in our minds. So if you're not somebody who hurts women, if you're not someone who wants to do harm to other people, then just keep who you are. If the woman goes, if she doesn't accept that you guys come back together, hey, let her go. Let her go. Unless you doubt your handsomeness or your person to such a level that you think she's the only person in the whole world who could accept you as you are. I don't believe that's the case. You sound like a handsome young guy who's very promising. Okay, so let that door close. Take out some time and heal. And there are other people who will do better. Okay, welcome Idara. Frochick, welcome. Glorious Akbega, welcome. Glorious. Good to see you. Idara, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll take the next question. The next question is, how will a lady cope with a guy that smokes while the lady doesn't like it? How will you cope? Let's go down to the nitty-gritty of this question. Is your challenge his character, or your challenge is just the smoking. That is one very important thing. Okay, now before I attend to that question, let me see what Pastor Stephen is saying here. And he asks, Pastor, what would be your advice to someone who is dealing with a very demanding job and also seeking to pursue and fulfill God's purpose for his life? Okay, I'm going to come back to that. I thought this was a follow-up to the previous question, so I will attend to it. Okay, so how does a lady cope with a guy who smokes, but she doesn't like it? This question is too superficial. Again, I'll ask, is your challenge with his character or your challenge is with the smoking? Let me ask, what if he stops smoking and starts snuffing? What if he stops snuffing and starts drinking? Or maybe he probably is already drinking, you don't mind drinking, you just have a challenge with smoking. Sometimes all the smoke, drink, womanizing, they're all branches from the same roots. Pretty much like, how do I stop this tree from bearing this kind of fruit while the other branches bear? These are all stuff from the same root. I think that if you have a challenge with smoking, what you should truly have a challenge with should be bad character, right? Because smoking is never a standalone. As far as I know, I don't know if there are other people who have that experience, but as far as I know, when I see people who really, really smoke, they have a tendency to do other things, and they usually have other accessories added to smoking. So smoking goes with drinking, generally speaking, goes with drinking. And sometimes smoking also progresses from the lower stuff to the greater stuff, and so on and so forth, So what is really the challenge? I think that you're trying to destroy leaves when you should be trying to destroy roots. For as long as the roots of a plant are in the ground, it will continue to bear fruit. So if it has a nasty fruit and you cut it off, give it a little time, it will bear another fruit. So it shouldn't just be about smoking. You should be more concerned about character. And you see, sincerely, that's how far I can go with that question, because if you are a person of character, then I think your interest will be more about character, because character is the bedrock for behavior. Is the bedrock for behavior. If this person does not change his character but stops his smoking to please you, how are we sure that that's where it's going to stop? What if other things begin to spring forth? Are you going to try to stop the next one and stop the next one and stop the next one? What you want to do is make sure that you have the proper character and you're in a relationship, the kind of character that can bear the right fruit. That's my advice. I've been friends with this particular guy for over a year, and I think I'm having feelings for him. I was joking. So, you said for over a year. It's not a yes or no answer, but I have some advice, right? Some guy has been your friend for over a year, and then you're beginning to have feelings for him. Now you want to know whether it's okay to go on and tell him how you feel. I would only say tread carefully. Give it a little more time, right? You may say he hasn't verbalized, but allow him get to a place where there is some form of mutuality. Are you sure he's thinking about you the same way you're thinking about him? Are you sure what you're feeling is what he is feeling? It may not be so. Some people are just nice and loving and lovely. It's possible that the way he relates with you is his default way of relating with everybody else who's a bit close to him. you want to give it some time. You want to give it some time. Clearly, you're already in that emotional zone. Okay, you're already in that emotional zone where you just want to go all out and tell him how you feel. Okay, keep it for now, right? I would say the only time it might be safe for the lady to express herself in that manner would be when he has sufficiently proven that he is thinking what you're thinking, and he has proven that by his actions in many different ways. Yes, some men are shy and timid and cannot say, but there are certain things a person will do and say that are clear enough, that represent their intentions in no ambiguous way, right? So you want to make sure that that is in place. Or you can, if you feel convinced that that has been done enough, instead of directly asking him or telling him, oh, I have feelings for you and I don't know, da 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 da. You may want to rather talk about your friendship and maybe try to recount that, okay, we've been friends for a while now, and we're really very close, and da 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 da. And so I just feel that it's proper that we really define it from here, so that I don't begin to have expectations, wrong expectations, and so on. I won't like to hurt you, and of course, I also want to protect myself from being hurt. I know we're good friends, but we've been really, really, really close beyond just good friends, and I'd like us to talk about it. You have already said what any smart guy should know, that, hey, look, you are feeling the way you're feeling, and that should give him the opportunity to clear the air. Now, some people like attention. Oh, many people like attention. Did I say some? Many people like attention. And in some cases that I know, right, just the way you feel about this guy now, they know that you feel so about them. They are not necessarily wanting to move the relationship to the next level. They just want to keep it as friendship, but they enjoy that energy that comes from the way you feel about them. And they can keep it like that for a very long time without still wanting to move it to the next level. So if you think you've been friends long enough and you've been close enough, you can just mention what I said, that, hey, we've been friends for quite a bit, and not just friends, we've been very, very, very close. At this point, I think we just need to talk about this. So let's know what we're doing, and if we are just going to be friends, let's also know how to set the boundaries right, and da 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 da. Once you begin to talk like that, he should be able to read the handwriting on the wall and do the needful. Okay, I'll take this question from Pastor Steve. What would be your advice to someone who is dealing with a very demanding job and also seeking to pursue and fulfill God's purpose for his life? So from the question, I already imagine that the direction of purpose is very different from this job. I would say keep doing your job while you keep building capacity for purpose. A time comes when you have built so much capacity for your purpose that it begins to engage you to where you don't have that time for the job. A time comes when the capacity you have built in the direction of purpose also is engaging and rewarding you in such a manner that you need to spend more time with it, to develop it, and to grow it. At that point, you may not be able to combine it with a job. When you get to that place, then I would say in the interim, while you're building that much needed capacity, and of course you know that you have built capacity when the demands have greatly increased, when your attention in that area is greatly needed, when of course rewards are beginning to reflect your efforts and and your time is required a lot more to where you can anything else. At that point, you have to take the big leap and go right in. Welcome, Blessing, 𝐸𝐞 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐞, welcome. How are you, Blessing? Welcome.
Questions,
Okay, so I'll take one question from YouTube. This is from Hilary Edu. Hey, Hilary. Please, sir, is it right for a believer to work in an alcoholic beverage or cigarette producing or distribution firm? Oh, Hilary, come on. It's not a good Christmas question to ask me. This question. Especially when the pay is big. Okay, let me use myself for an example. I wouldn't personally, and please mark my words, personally, based on my values, I do not want to contribute my effort, my skill, my expertise, my intelligence in the creation and distribution of what I do not believe in. That's what it is. I also know that there is a thin line somewhere. Let's take, for example, Guinness. Guinness does not only produce alcoholic beverages, they also produce non-alcoholic beverages. So you see, in those kinds of situations, it's iffy, right? Now, but there are also some other companies that outrightly are into, say, alcoholic beverages, and of course, cigarette companies usually produce cigarettes. I will not work in a cigarette company. I will not advise a believer to work in a cigarette company. I believe in the law of environments. You see the man Lot, when he separated from Abraham, the Bible says he pitched his tent toward Sodom. 1 or 2 chapters ahead, the Bible says he sat in the gates of Sodom. What he looked at every day, eventually became his attraction. I also believe that there's how someone can spend a lot of time in a certain environment where their sensitivity towards the wrong in that environment is desensitized. Okay, so now you are just throwing boxes of cigarettes, and you work there 2 years, 3 years, and you begin to have a personal relationship with it. It's no longer a big deal or something bad or something. You're just indifferent. Yes, you still do not smoke, but you're just indifferent. I cannot become an ambassador for something I disbelieve in. So you have to wear the shirts. Oh yeah, you have to wear the shirts. You have to wear the caps. You're given a big distributorship van or truck labeled with these cigarettes. You're coming out in stores and delivering cigarettes. Bro, not me. I won't. Sincerely, I won't. Hi, Mama Goose. Welcome. Okay. All right, Pastor Steve. I'm happy to know that answered it. Glorious Akpega. Your question: what life advice do you have for someone who will be graduating from uni in a few months? Oh my God. You're the very person I want to speak with. What do you think is important to put in place? If you're graduating from uni in a few months, read my book, 20 Things You Need to Do Before You're 30. Very important. Or listen to the message, 20 Things You Need to Do Before You're 30. Now, I would say do an assessment of your vision. Life outside of the university is very different from life within the university. In the university, we read school books to make school A's. Life requires us to read life books to make life A's. So you're graduating in a few months, ask yourself what you truly want for your life. Do an assessment of your vision. Also find out what is required for the pursuit of your vision. Connect with a mentor or mentors that have the ability to teach you and to groom you and to help you stay focused. Read books. Plan to read books. When I mean plan to read books like your life depends on them. And definitely, I promise you, your life actually really depends on those books, right? Connect with the right people, keep the right relationships around your life, because usually in between, to build a lot of capacity to launch into your future, or you can waste that time so bad that you miss a big opportunity to shape on yourself for the vision that you have conceived. All right, so be certain about the kind of person you want to be, where you want to go with your life, what your vision is, what the requirements are. Connect with a mentor. Begin to read like your life depends on reading, and I'm sure you'll do well. I hope that helps. Esther Zion, great to have you here. B-Girl, welcome. Good to have you here. Have we answered all the questions?
So the question on
Yangi, good to see you. Okay, I think we have some questions hiding here. Hello, Rita says, what or where? Okay, I guess this question started somewhere. What advice would you give a 22-year-old girl who's looking to start dating intentionally soon? Okay. What or where is the best way to find purpose-driven and masculine man? Oh my God, hire me. Hey, hello, Rita, hire me. Pay me. Come on. Where are all the purpose-driven men in the house? Vacancy, purpose-driven men, vacancy. It looks like I have one in the studio, just one. Just one. He's handsome, he's witty, he's intelligent, he loves the Lord. I trust him. Hey, come on, hello Rita, you can, apply through me. Non-refundable fee of, I'll tell you. Well, this is what I'm going to say. Number one, understand your own purpose. You would find it difficult to connect with a person of purpose if you are not a person of purpose. You need to understand your purpose. Understanding your purpose doesn't mean you have every detail about your purpose. It's important to understand your purpose. You would see that in the beginning picture of marriage, some things were set in place, and I believe these also stand as a template for people coming into a marital relationship together. Okay. Number one, Adam was given an assignment and purpose, right? First, before he was given a wife. Also, before the wife came along, he had the counsel of God. God said, of this fruit you shall eat, of that you shall not. So he had the do's and do nots of God. He had the counsel of God. Adam was intelligent. God creates the animals, right? And calls Adam to name them. When God created these animals, he knew their names. But Adam had the ability to plug into the heart of God and pull out the names from the heart of God. And every name Adam called an animal was actually the name. God concurred. Yes, that is the name. That is the name. This is a lion. God says, yes, you're correct. This is a monkey. Yes, that's a chipmunk. Yes, that's a squirrel. Yes, this is an antelope. Yes, this is this. Yes, that is a cat. That's a dog. That's a this. Yes, 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 yes. So he knew the heart of God, he knew the counsel of God, and he had access to the heart of God. That kind of man was the one that when God showed up again, right, to commune with him, said, it is not good that this man be alone. The man who was busy with his purpose, busy with assignment, had the word of God, had the presence of God, had the counsel of God. That kind of man, right? For you to attract that kind of man, you have to be that kind of woman. I used to tell ladies that when a guy walks up to you and says, I love you, that's fine. One of the questions you should ask him is how many books he's read. And I said, before you ask him how many books he has read, make sure you've read some yourself. Make sure you read some yourself. Very important. So what's the best way to find purpose-driven and masculine men? I love that, masculine men. Men, you see what's going on? Now people have to add masculine to define men, because some men are effeminate. They are not masculine. They're supposed to be men, but they say they're not. So well, okay. Eliezer, I'm going to come to you shortly. So from their focus, from their priorities, from their targets, from their vision, you see, if you're going to get married to someone, it means you're following him into life. The question is, where am I following you to? The woman should be asking, where am I following you to? And so from his vision, from his inclinations, from his priorities, these are some of the clues that you can use to gauge his purpose, readiness, purpose, inclination, and what he truly wants to do with his life. Okay, so, but I would say spend the time and invest in yourself. And I tell you, because we see as we are. Someone said, a wise man once said, we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. We are very likely to more easily identify a person of purpose when we are inclined towards purpose. Okay, so start reading books, start getting marital intelligence. Next year, 2024, the whole month of February, I'm going to be teaching on marital intelligence. Find a way to connect, find a way to get the resources. www.honeystreams.com, www.akomayeoga.com.org. I beg your pardon, www.akomayeoga.org. And I'm sure you'd get those materials, or you can just follow our live streams on YouTube or Facebook, and somehow, yeah. So that's the much I can say about that. But it is possible. It is very possible, and I am excited to know that you're looking out for a purpose-driven, masculine man. May the Lord be with you. It is possible. Very possible. Very possible. Okay, we have some questions here. I'm just going to read. Oh, Pastor Hillary says, thanks so much, sir. You did justice to my question. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Eliezer Ngu. Greetings, sir. I want to marry this girl, and she says she doesn't have a conviction about me. I believe it can work. I've prayed, but do I build on her no conviction and leave her be? Okay, I totally feel you, and I understand that kind of scenario, right? Where you're quite certain about someone and the person is not quite certain about you. Let me go straight to the point, right? And just make it point blank. Listen, if you convince a woman who is not personally convinced to follow you into life, she's going to become one of your biggest burdens. You're going to work your life to try to impress her. In the marriage, you'll still be trying to convince her in many different ways. And let me tell you something that you may not find funny and you may not be able to really deal with. When you find a drawback attitude, there's nothing as bad as someone getting married to you and you find them withdrawn, disconnected from you because they are regretting that they are in a marriage with you. They don't even know whether they made the right decision. They don't even know if this is what they were supposed to do. And then when you get to talk about it, all they say to you is, well, I told you I wasn't ready. I told you I didn't. Now, right now, yes, we've been married for 2 years, but I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure. I feel like my heart is somewhere else. Give me some time. Give me some time. Hey, that's going to be your worst experience. It's better to let her go. I would say give a little time, right? A little time. But in this kind of scenario, not even so much time, because you're not giving so much time to where she samples everybody else. And then she's coming to you, not because she's still convinced, but just because you're better than everybody else that has been sampled. So you're like the best of the unwanteds. The best of the unwanted. You don't want a woman to get into your life and act like she did you a favor to get married to you. No, never. I don't even expect the woman to accept a man in her life that makes her feel that he did her a favor to get married to her. So you have to think twice. Okay, it's okay that you have your convictions, but truth is, two cannot walk together unless they be agreed. And if at this point she's not in agreement with you, move on. Like they say it in Nigeria, move. So yeah, so you have to go on with your life. Life has to go on. Life has to go on. Okay, I think we've dealt with the questions here. Duchiwayo, good to have you here. Okay, thank you, Glorious. Glad it helped. Ngozi Kohakalu, welcome. Spice Goddess. Okay. Pastor Stephen says it's available. No, you're not. Oh my God. Oh, yeah, I can see Pastor Fubuwe has mentioned the person I was talking about. He says, Victor Bassi, is that you, Pastor is talking about? He is the one. He is the one. He is the one. But please apply in person through me. I'll tell you how much you're going to pay for this. You know, I have to do the go between and so on. So there's a fee. Oh my God, this is funny. This is so funny. Right, guys. I think we've run out of questions. Oh, there's more? Okay. So let me, there are more questions here. Okay, the last two. So there's this question that says, a friend of mine, okay, so this question says, a friend of mine cohabits with her boyfriend. I've tried talking her out of it, but she says he's a nice person. Hey, okay. Let's keep going. But do you have anything to say about this? Please. So he's a nice person, that's why they cohabit. So it means we can just cohabit with any nice person. There are many nice people in this life. Well, I think it just tells us of the values of your friend, right? If you have the right value system, there are certain things you're not going to do. Again, also, there are things that we do that can cheapen us before the other person. When it comes with its problems. It comes with its problems. I don't even see why the guy needs to pay bride price. Because the bride is, I won't say priceless, because that will mean something else. The bride does not have a price. Okay, the way we carry ourselves is what sells the value that we have and the value that we command. If you cheapen yourself, someone is supposed to pay a bride price and then take you to his home, and you choose to go there without a bride price, then of course you have reduced yourself to nothing. You have reduced yourself to nothing. Let me also say that it's difficult to cohabit with someone and not be engaging in sexual intercourse and all of those other things that kill trust and destroy the foundation of a solid marriage. One of the biggest issues with marriages today is the lack of trust. And one of the biggest foundations of lack of trust is sex before marriage. That's the truth. Sex before marriage. You cannot convince this man that you're able to stay pure in his absence when you're married if you can't convince him now. You can't convince the woman either that when you're away from her for 6 months, 3 months, and you're under sexual pressure, you're not going to be practicing with the availables around you wherever it is that you are. There are things that should be left out, right? Everything can wait. Everything can wait. Give this person an opportunity to do the right thing. See your parents and do the needful. Marry you properly and take you home. When you cheapen yourself in this manner, I have seen many relationships like this, right, last for a very long time. These are the ones who say, oh, we have been dating for 8 years. We have been dating for 9 years. And when they eventually come to the place where maybe one person wants to part ways, the other one wants to kill themselves, or they want to do something, they want to hang themselves or something. You don't need to do this and, complicate your life in the process. It's not necessary. If you're a person of character, if you're a person of value, if you're not, now in my book, I have a book that will be probably, I don't know if it was my second or third book on relationships, and I titled it Hot Pants and Cold Hearts. I said sometimes some people behave like a faulty car in need of a desperate buyer. Okay, a faulty car in need of a desperate buyer. As far as I know, when something is valuable, there's a sense of preservation that is wrapped around it. Nobody just hangs gold. Gold is something people treasure because it's expensive. Diamonds are kept in, safe places because of how expensive they are, right? You can't present yourself like a faulty car looking for a desperate buyer and be priced with any serious price. Usually when there's a faulty car looking for a desperate buyer, you'll be shocked at what they call 20,000, 50,000, because you're desperate like that. You don't need to go and live in a man's house to prove any point. That's not a sign of love. That's not wisdom at all. You reduce yourself to nothing. You reduce yourself to nothing. And again, I would ask, why does he need to go pay bride price for what he already has free subscription to? Free to air, free subscription. Just get the decoder and you can watch anything. What's he going to be paying for? What exactly is he going to be paying for? And how much trust is he going to have on this person? How is he going to look at you? What's going to be your moral standing to tell him to be morally upright? Morally upright? What do you know about being morally upright? You have to think. Foundations really matter. Foundations really matter. And don't do something today that will become a problem. Very big problem for you tomorrow. And I promise you, stuff like this usually lead to very big problems. Very big problems.